Hey, what's up, guys? Spencer Rhodes here. So, Deanna is a character that was in the third season of Fear the Walking Dead. That was the only season she appeared in. She only appeared in 2 episodes. She did have something of a substantial role. After the ranch had pretty much gone to shit and was completely destroyed, and almost everyone at the ranch got killed except for pretty much the main cast members, like 100 people died. Alicia was traumatized, and she decided that she wanted to be out on her own. She told Madison and Nick that she believed that it was just an endless cycle of them going to a new place, it going to shit, everyone dies. They go to a new place, it goes to shit, everyone dies. It just happens over and over and over and over and over again. And Alicia wanted to find a way to live for herself. She kind of felt like she was better off on her own, so she decides to go off on her own. While she is on her own, she encounters Deanna. Deanna steals Alicia's food, and they have a bit of a they almost try to kill each other, but they pretty much resolve it peacefully, and they decide to just share the food. So Deanna and Alicia start to like each other, and they start to become friends. However, they get attacked by a group of people, and Deanna gets very badly injured. I think her leg gets broken, and Alicia and Deanna end up getting taken to Proctor John's people. Proctor John is basically the main villain in the last couple of episodes of the season, but basically the last time we see Deanna, she's being like taken away in like a little doctor's office. It was kind of awkward. Like she just kind of disappears. I think she was supposed to be taken care of. Like she was supposed to be they were supposed to help her and treat her, but they're Proctor John's people, and Proctor John is a villain. At the very end of the season, Proctor John pretty much says he's going to kill Madison, Nick, Alicia, Strand. He tries to, he fails, but yeah, he's basically the villain at the end of the season. So I don't know how I feel about Deanna being in the hands of his people. I feel like they might have killed her off screen or something. In reality, this probably doesn't happen, because in the Walking Dead universe, there's really no such thing as dying off screen. I mean, there's people that think Madison's still alive because she died off screen. You know, Daniel kind of died off screen, but I mean, they confirmed that he survived like shortly after, like the writers did. But you know, Daniel basically died off screen in terms of the story, and then he came back in season 3. So basically, if you're not seen dying on this show, you're probably not dead. What I think happened with the character was there were plans for her in season 4. You know, Dave Erickson was writing the show at the time, and he had plans for season 4, but he got fired. So there's a lot of loose ends at the end of season 3. There's a lot of unknowns, like characters that we don't know what happened to them. We don't know how many people we don't know how many people survived the dam, because the dam exploded. So we don't know who's alive, who's dead. We know some of the characters that survived, like Madison, Alicia, Nick, Luciana, Strand, and of course, Madison and Nick later died, but those were the characters that appeared in season 4. The writers confirmed that Daniel survived, and Daniel is scheduled to be in season 5 of Fear. So we know he's okay. But there's some characters that are unknown. We never really saw what happened to them. We didn't see what happened to Proctor John, the villain. We never saw what happened to him. We didn't see what happened to Deanna. There's some characters at the dam that were kind of like minor characters, like the doctor guy that was supplying Nick with the brain stem that kept getting him high. I mean, there's things we don't know about, with the dam, and at the end of season 3, we don't know what happened to some of the characters. And yeah, Deanna is one of them. Deanna is one of the characters that we never find out what happened to her. She just kind of has an unknown fate. It's just kind of up in the air. And there's a chance that we'll never see her again, because, the original writer, Dave Erickson, he got fired, and Scott Gimple took over, and he took Fear the Walking Dead in a completely different direction. for better or worse, in season 4. It was a reboot, literally a reboot, a bunch of brand new characters, a brand new setting, and only a handful of the old characters. So at this point, I don't know if we're going to see Deanna again. I feel like most people don't even know who she is. I had no idea what her name was. I had to like desperately search through the wiki pages to find her. Like there's barely any pictures of her on the internet. I couldn't remember her name. She really didn't leave much of an impression. I mean, she didn't really get much of a chance to leave much of an impression. Like I said, she was literally only in 2 episodes, and then she just kind of disappeared and just had a cliffhanger ending, and we don't know what happened to her. So I don't know if they're going to bring her back or not. There's not exactly a whole lot of demand for it. You know, she's not like Daniel Salazar, where the fans are desperately wanting answers as to what happened to him. She's not on that level, and she's really not on the level of characters like Walker or Crazy Dog. I mean, you know, those characters had a big role in season 3, and they're not really unknowns. I mean, they're unknowns, but we don't know if they got killed by someone off screen or not. Like Deanna, you know, she was last seen basically hospitalized, surrounded by Proctor John's men. That's pretty, like, she could be fucked. Crazy Dog and Walker, they weren't in that situation. They were on their own, and they decided to head north, I believe, and they just sort of walked off. They just sort of walked off, and we never saw them again. They just kind of had that type of ending. And in a way, Crazy Dog and Walker had a decent ending, just because they didn't die, or you know, they're not dramatically coming back. I mean, they had full story arcs in a way, and they, you know, it's realistic to sometimes have characters like that just go off on their own and you never see them again. That's how it would be in that world. But so yeah, we had a little bit more closure with Walker and Crazy Dog, but with Deanna, that was just a straight up cliffhanger, and we never really got any answers. And I don't know if we're ever going to see her again. I would say probably not. I mean, with the direction that Scott Gimple took Fear the Walking Dead in season 4, I mean, no one even mentioned Daniel Salazar. They didn't give us anything with Daniel Salazar. They didn't give us a hint. They didn't give us an Easter egg, just a thread of information. They didn't give us anything. In the actual season, no character mentioned Daniel Salazar. The writers said that Daniel survived, but in the actual season, you know, Daniel was last seen with Nick in season 3 at the end. In season 4, Nick never says anything about what happened with Daniel. No character talks about Daniel. So if they're not even going to mention Daniel in season 4, the writers probably long moved on from Deanna. I mean, she's just probably, unfortunately, just kind of lost and forgotten. And it'd be cool to see her return. I just kind of have a feeling, I don't know. I mean, she wasn't that big of a character. She's not exactly a fan favorite or anything. Unfortunately, she didn't really get a chance to really do very much or develop very much, or grow on anyone. She just didn't get much of a chance. I kind of feel bad for the actress because she didn't get much of a chance. The character didn't get much of a chance. I believe that Dave Erickson had plans for her. He was going to show her in season 4. He was going to show what happened to her. Maybe she would die, maybe she was already dead, maybe she was alive, maybe she fought her way out with her broken leg somehow, maybe Alicia rescues her. I bet he had plans for that character. He ended it on a cliffhanger just to have a cliffhanger because it was the end of the season. But once Scott Gimple took over and rebooted the series, he just dropped a lot of characters. He didn't tell us what happened to Proctor John. It just seemed like a lot of the characters from season 3 just got dropped. A lot of things in season 3 just got dropped. There was just a handful of characters that returned to season 4. So I'm worried that Deanna is just kind of long forgotten, and everyone involved, the writers and everything, they just moved on from the character. If she were to return to Fear the Walking Dead, I don't know if it would be in season 5 or not. I mean, it seems like they're starting to have quite a lot of characters. I mean, we got all the characters that were still alive at the end of season 4, plus Daniel Salazar, Dwight, and Troiato. And then, of course, there's going to be more new characters, but there's only going to be so many old characters that they're going to bring back at once. Otherwise, you risk making it look like a cartoon. And they're bringing back Daniel, Troy, Dwight. That's a pretty decent handful of returning characters that are dramatically returning to the story when we don't know what happened to them, and then they're all going to come back in one season. So I think adding Deanna to that pile might be too much, and maybe they just don't care about the character. It would be nice to get some answers. Like maybe they could make a little mini movie about the character, or maybe she joins The Walking Dead or something. I don't know. It'd be cool to see what happened to her. It'd be cool to get some closure. Like I said, I kind of feel bad for the actress. She didn't really get much of a shot to really do a whole lot, and she just kind of got shafted away from the story. And yeah, it'd be nice to see her again. I don't know if she will be seen again. I highly, highly, highly doubt she will appear in Fear the Walking Dead Season 5 because, like I said, you can only bring back so many old characters at one time before it doesn't get realistic anymore. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We might never see her again. She might just be forgotten about. Maybe we get some Daniel Salazar flashbacks because we're getting Daniel Salazar back. So maybe in season 5 we have some flashbacks that give us a little bit more information on what happened after the dam exploded. Maybe Daniel encounters Deanna. Maybe they meet each other and they fight some walkers together. Maybe Deanna dies. Something like that would be kind of cool. If I would like to see, Proctor John and Deanna and some flashbacks of Daniel. Maybe Daniel kills Proctor John or Proctor John kills Deanna, and then Daniel kills Proctor John, and then boom, we know what happened to those two characters. Proctor John and Deanna are now dead. We've seen it in Daniel Salazar's flashbacks. That would be a good idea. Like I said, there are multiple options. They could bring her back in her own little mini movie. I don't know if she's, popular enough to do that with. She's probably not. They could have her somehow meet up with characters in The Walking Dead. She could somehow end up getting taken by the helicopter. She could be in the Rick Grimes movies. She could be in Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, because they might have some more room at that point. They might not have room for her in season 5, but they could have room for her in season 6. But it also has to be realistic. I mean, these characters are not where they used to be in season 3. I mean, they've moved around. They've traveled. They're far away. So there's got to be like an explanation as to how she came back, how she met up with these old characters. I mean, Alicia's still alive, so there's that connection that those two characters have. So Alicia could see her again and be like, "Hey, you're alive!" Yay! And then she's a part of the group at that point. But they could bring her back without announcing it. They could have maybe Daniel encountered her with her broken leg and everything after the dam exploded, and she just stayed alive, and they stayed together. And she returns along with Daniel in season 5, like she's by Daniel's side. But if they're going to do that, why haven't they announced that the actress is returning? Are they keeping it a secret? Is it not a big deal? I mean, I get that it's not as big as Daniel and Troy, but I feel like they'd announce that actress is returning. I feel like the actress would say something on Twitter or something. I mean, why keep it a big surprise? She's not worth really keeping it a secret. You might as well say she's coming back, because she's a minor character. Just say she's coming back. So I have a feeling maybe they just kind of forgot about her, and or they just didn't care. But there are multiple ways to bring her back, and they could also they could kill her off in a Daniel flashback. They could, like I said, we could see what happened after the dam exploded. Now that we've got Daniel back, we can have some Daniel flashbacks. So who knows? There's several different options, but I would not hold my breath. We might never ever find out what happened to her. I'm sorry, but we might not. Unfortunately, there's a decent chance that she's just kind of gone and forgotten, and it's kind of unfortunate because it just kind of seemed awkward because I felt like that was a character that they had some plans for, and then they just didn't do it, and they didn't really bother to end her story. They just kind of left her out there. So yeah, it'd be kind of nice to see her come back, but I don't know. I'm not sure if there's a big chance that we'll have her come back. That they'll have her come back, but who knows? I mean, there's always a chance. You know, if you're not dead, you're not dead. If you don't die on screen, you don't die on screen. She could be out there. She could be still alive. She could return in some way in the near future. It doesn't have to be in season 5. It could be in season 6, or you know anything. There are options. So maybe there's a chance that she'll return at some point down the road. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think there's any chance the character will return? Do you want the character to return? Are you like me and you don't even know what her name was? Yeah, I mean, do you think she should return? Do you think she's already dead? Just let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. I make 1 to 2 Walking Dead videos per day, so please hit that subscribe button. Right now we are at 301 subscribers. My goal is to try to get to 400 in the next few months. So we are 99 away. We are already at 301. So I mean, we got one. You know, with 99 left. We're 99 away from 400. Honestly, I have faith. I think we can get there. And yeah. With all that said, I am Spencer Rhodes, and I will see you guys later. Bye.